I don't care how you was feeling before. Nope. But right now, it's time to feel good. Yeah. Let's go. I'm good. I'm good. It don't matter how my day starts off, cause I'm good. I'm good. Don't bring your negativity.
Hi everyone, I'm Korren Riley here with Terry Fletcher, and we want to welcome you to the BunLife Podcast, coming to you from Southern California. Let me tell you, Terry, about a story that has to do with my daughter, who apparently forgets how to tell the truth.
Okay, I'm one of those too.
I'm trying very hard to remember how much I love her and that she doesn't mean it, but she's gotten a lot better, but she's so creative that she comes up with these stories. And so the most recent one was just yesterday, and I picked her up. She was at Dylan's daycare because her summer camp ended, so she was just there for a day or two. And they're like, oh, by the way, your daughter's telling everybody that she drinks wine.
Oh, no.
And I just looked at, my eyes got so big, and I was like, drinks wine, huh? And then my first thought was, did you believe her? You know, like, do I seem like a mom that lets her kid drink wine? And then she immediately started crying. So I had to talk to her. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, what was that about? She goes, I just thought that maybe one day you would let me drink a little bit of your wine. I was like, but is that what you said? She's like, no, I don't remember.
That's not what I meant.
Like, you can't tell people that because you know that's an adult drink that mommy drinks from time to time at dinner or at the house.
Or when somebody feels good for you. Good, not bad. Good for you, and they bring you some wine.
Right. So, so I had to deal with her telling people. They're like, we just want to make sure she doesn't go to school on her first day and starts telling everyone that mommy lets her drink wine.
Wow.
I was mortified.
Well, I remember there was one recently that about you were moving to Alaska, I think. That was actually my favorite story and how you handled it, because when your husband kind of told me what you did, I was like, really? And his version is a little different than yours.
It is a little different.
Yeah, a little different. So I just thought that was
that's
kind of
okay
funny.
because mine's always right. So this story, for those of you who know my daughter or don't know my daughter, let me just explain that she is very animated. She is very intelligent, and she has a very kind heart. And so the story begins. So I get a call from work, I'm at work, and I get a call from somebody at her school, a parent, and she tells me, oh my gosh, I just want to call you. By the way, I just saw her today. That was very awkward. I just wanted to call and say that we're going to miss you. And I was
She called you at work?
Oh, well, on my cell phone while I was at work.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was like, I would have been like, how did you get my number?
Yeah.
But she said, we're going to miss you. And I was like, why? She said, well, you're moving. And I was like, oh, no, we're not planning on buying a new house until like next year sometime. And she's like, oh no, to Alaska.
That's so random.
I was like, the hell? Alaska, of all the places.
Of all the places in the universe.
I was like, well, where did she get that from? And she's like, your daughter, she told us today. Congratulations. I'm like, no. We're not. I don't know why we would go there. She's like, yeah, right? I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm so sorry. She might have been confused. So I called, but
instead of saying she's lying her ass off, you're like, I don't know where she got it.
There must be some misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I was thinking immediately, who else did she tell? Like,
right.
Right? What else? What more cleanup do I need to do? But the backstory to this is that this was a little bit ago, towards the end of the school year last year, and she had actually been coming up with very fabricated, unsolicited lies that weren't prompted by anybody or anything. So it would be just a simple, so tell me about your day, Bugs. How was kindergarten today? And she would say, well, Mommy, first we did blah, 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 blah. And finally I'm like, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You know, and
right
it doesn't make sense. It's too elaborate and it's super detailed. That's the part where it was throwing me a little kind of creepy if you think about it. I was like, man, what else could she get away with? Pretty spot on.
She's
but
got a very colorful imagination.
Colorful. That's a really good explanation. Yes. So that was the backstory. So this had been kind of going on, that these elaborate stories were taking place, and so now I get this Alaska call, and I'm
oh my gosh,
like completely thrown. So I pick up the phone, I call my husband, I'm like, babe, we got to do something. And we had already tried your typical regimen of punishment, you know, going through all the different things, talking to her, explaining it to her, sitting her down, certain levels of punishment in regards to certain privileges being taken away. And we're realizing this crap is not working with this kiddo. She's on to us. Yeah. She knows. So we got pretty creative. I got really creative. Daryl, see, this is where the Daryl portion changes, because I think he undermines the fact that this was all my idea and that it worked.
I think his time limit is a little off too.
His timeline is different, but it's always different. Yeah. That's okay. I love you, baby. And so he and I were talking, and I was like, no, he wanted to do more like, you're on punishment for like a long time, and we're taking everything away. Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't, not in this situation. It wasn't working.
Not for a 6-year-old either.
Right. Their time, 2 weeks is a long time.
It is a long time.
So, I'd like to preface it. I'm not really entirely sure that this was the correct thing to do. So I'm not putting any parenting books out. Don't quote me. This happened to work for my child in this moment. So full disclosure, not sure if what I did was right. But so anyways, we got creative, and I said, you know what? No, she wants to go to Alaska. F it. Let's go to Alaska. And he's like, what? No, we live near Long Beach Airport. Let's make this happen. We're going to go home, and we're going to make her pack her bags, because doing it yourself, you're that physical act of packing your bag, not talking about packing your bag, makes a big difference. And so we're going to pull out her little rolly suitcase that we had just gotten her, and guess what? Everything she needs is going to go in that suitcase, but she's got to say goodbye to her brother. She's got to say goodbye to Mama and Daddy.
Oh, man.
She can't bring all her toys, because Mommy and Daddy we bought those. Those are ours. And it's cold.
Who is she going to live with out here? Out in Alaska?
She claimed that Grandpa was moving to Alaska with her.
Okay.
So, since there's a dispute on the timeline here, depending on which parent you're talking to, we're just going to say that she started packing her stuff, and it was... Okay, I'm not going to lie, it was comical. Because she is hysterical, and I know deep down that this is all a lie.
Well, and when she gets hysterical, doesn't Dylan follow suit?
Yes,
he copies her, right?
He is her little mini, and he is very attached to her, and so he started crying, and so I had to console him, keep in character, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, Booger, you gotta go. Well, you coming with me? Nope.
Oh,
nope,
no.
Not coming with you. Oh, by the way, you got to say goodbye to your brother. And that killed her. She was like, no. He's going to come with me. Nope. You're not. No, you got to say goodbye. Pack your jacket. It's cold there. Brr.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then finally she's like, why on earth would I be going to Alaska? I was like, well, Booger, didn't you tell everybody at school you were moving to Alaska with Grandpa? Oh, my God. No. Okay, that's not what okay, Mama, what I meant was, okay, no, listen, Mama, I swear, okay, listen, and I'm like, I'm listening, like, let me sit down and let's talk about it. So then she starts to proceed to tell me that I need to clean it up, like, I need to clean up the lie. I was like, but I didn't lie, you lied. Why do I have to clean up your mess?
She actually said it like, you need to clean it up?
She's like, you need to fix this, Mom.
Oh, no.
Listen, trick.
Yeah. Okay, kid.
Yeah. Smart move.
Yeah.
Try again. I'm a little smarter.
Yeah.
And so she was asking me to clean up her lie for her, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, Booger. You were the one that came up with the story, and it seems to not be true, correct? She's like, no, it's not true. let's talk about why you made up this story. And it turns out that all her friends were talking about all the wonderful places they were going over the summer, and she wanted to go to a really cool place too, so she picked a place that she thought was far.
Oh no.
And then there that was. And so we got to the root of the problem. They want to fit in and all that stuff. We were not going on a lavish vacation. And so then I said, so you know what, Booker, what are we going to do? So let's brainstorm. How do we fix this mess? Because when we lie, it's messy.
Yeah.
And you got to clean it up. And so then she's like, here's what I'm going to do. And now Daryl and I were totally committed, because there was a risk that we were taking that if she was like, yeah,
let's go,
let's do this, then we were going to have to drive her to the airport. Now, my husband was fully prepared to, actually physically leave her, and I had to draw the line. I was like, babe, you can't leave her at the airport.
Yeah. I could see him going,
police would be
drive around the corner.
Yeah, no, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't do that, but we would have to drive to the airport if need be. But no, it actually worked. She was so scared of the situation. She won't talk about it anymore, and she has not really lied since, except for the wine story I just told you.
Except for the wine story.
I think.
Hopefully it's not creeping up. Maybe it was just the pre-first grade. Or
yeah, I don't know what that was. But yeah, so that was a crazy story. I think kids lie. I think there's lies that we have to tell our kids.
Well, I think the thing that the parents need to know is I think sometimes kids don't think they're lies. They at least believe them enough where they're just like, but I didn't really lie. So having an adult child who, and Summer actually had a colorful imagination as well. And I felt like hers more, I hate to use lies or fibs or a variation of that, but she always tried to cover her butt. And as she got older,
that's smart.
Well, we got two smart kids, which it can be a problem sometimes. But she covered her butt in a way, and she does it more now, which drives me insane, because she backtracks. So she'll be like ranting about work, and this person did that, and then she'll have an attitude. I'll be like, Summer, you can't talk to people that way. You're not a manager there. And she'll be like, no, what I really said is, and Tom will be like, are you lying, or did you really say that, or what did you do? But she does this now. She'll say things like, I'll be like, okay, you cannot take your car unless you're just having one beer. I go, remember, you still live at home, our rules. And so she's just, and I go, and this should be a rule that should stay with you anyway. And she's like, it's all I'm having. And I'm like, just Uber if you think you need to go out and have a couple drinks with your friends. And so she'll come home. Clearly she's trying to hide that she had more than one. And I know she had her car, and she looks at it. If it turned out okay, what's the problem? And I just hate it when people do that. It's like, well, if it didn't hurt anybody or it turned out okay, then why is there an issue? And I'm like, no, it's not a means to an end. And so she basically, and she loves social media. So she'll say, I just had one beer. And I look on social media, and on her story, she puts a beer flight. Well, if you add up all the little beers, that's just one big beer. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
You know what? I should take her to work with me, and she'll be a little scared about driving like that.
Well, and I said, you are going to be a teacher, and you absolutely can't do that. And luckily that has stopped, as far as, I'm not saying that she's ever, to the point where she had, a DUI or anything. No, she would never do that. But she definitely has pushed the envelope a little far.
Yeah, and I think kind of human nature to do that. Kids push the envelope. Yeah. People push the envelope. I mean, I push the envelope when I tell little white lies to my kids. Like, the snacks are gone because you ate them all. And then they're like, no, Mommy. And Carson's really keen to it, so she knows. No trick, Mama. You ate the last one. Nuh-uh. But I don't know. Did you guys do Santa or anything like that?
We did. We actually did Santa. Actually, I had an argument with your husband about it.
I'm sure you did, because I have to.
Yeah, he was absolutely goes, no. And I go, Daryl, you have to do Santa. They're at the age where it's fun, and now they have the thing on the computer through NASA where Santa is flying over the world, and it tells you every step of where they are and when you're in California, when they're coming in, and it gets your kids to bed, and Santa the gift in the morning. He's looking at me like I'm retarded, and he's just like, you need to stop. No, that's lying. And I'm like, it's not lying really. It's more just appealing
to their imagination.
Yeah, it's traditional What is it? I can't even.
It's kind of giving them spirit and faith in, not faith in a religion standpoint, but like faith in good.
In good,
like,
exactly.
Like
I've seen the movie Elf.
Oh yeah,
it is faith in the good.
But like I think so. My family is so. With Daryl and I, we come from two completely different backgrounds on religion and traditions and things like that. But we happen to share common ground on our beliefs, Daryl and I. So that's where this whole Santa thing goes. But no, my husband straight up told Carson, Santa doesn't exist.
Does she remember this?
Oh, but here's the kicker. She does. But she just is so stubborn and set in her ways. She goes, you know what, Daddy? If you don't want to believe in Santa, that's fine. You don't have to believe in Santa, but I choose to believe.
Good for her.
And I more so loved the willingness to stand in her own, like, she felt so confident and passionate about how she felt and what she believed. She didn't, even though someone was telling her no, that she was okay with standing her ground
and believing it, because
and
she knows
believing
her
it.
friends believe in it. Well, now you celebrate Hanukkah.
Yeah, well, we do both, actually.
Okay, you do both, so that's cool. Yeah, it's funny though, because when Summer was young, we embraced the Santa, the Easter Bunny, because the Easter Bunny would always leave the basket at the bedroom door in the morning. And then what was the other one? Santa, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy.
Oh,
so
yes.
I had to have a conversation with Summer about one day, basically just about all of it. And so she sat on my bed with me, and I go, I got to tell you something, because she was about 8 or 9. And I knew she was going to get teased if she still believed it. And so, we're sitting there, I go, I got to tell you something. And she's like, what? Did I do something wrong? I go, no. I go, so the presents for Christmas, that's really Mom and Dad, right? And she's like, yeah, I already know that. And I'm like, okay. And I go, and the Easter Bunny, and she's like, nobody really believes there's an Easter Bunny. We didn't even believe that when we were younger. We just said okay because you guys did. And so she was already telling me, so it was this conversation, and she was just like, whatever. And then I said, okay, and then the Tooth Fairy, you probably know. She goes, no, the Tooth Fairy's real. I get $5 for a tooth, and my friends only get $1. I'm like, Summer, why do you think that is? And she's like, she laid back on the bed and just sobbed. She truly believed the Tooth Fairy was real, but Santa and the Easter Bunny was not.
That's
she
hilarious.
Just like, does that mean I don't get my $5 a tooth? And all the parents are like, $5? Remember when it was a quarter? Remember when it was $1? I know. So it was like, well, she got $5 for like molars. The baby teeth, she got maybe $1.
Good job. You lost the big one.
Yeah. And I remember there was a time when it was just a quarter, but it's just funny because it's what they choose to acknowledge and not acknowledge, and what is actually devastating for them.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny.
We're kind of just letting her kind of pick her way, but but I'm sure we'll get into this at a later date and time, but the holidays are kind of comical in our house because it's different every year.
Yeah.
I mean, we adjust and adapt every year a little bit differently because, for one, Hanukkah falls on a different day every year. Right. For example, this year it's on the 2nd. Well, right. sundown on the 2nd. Right. And then 2 years ago it was on Christmas Eve.
That's crazy. That's like a month apart almost.
Right. So, and sometimes it's the day after Thanksgiving.
That early? Wow.
Yeah. I remember one year we went to Black Friday shopping on Hanukkah. So it was, it creates for a challenge on certain traditions. But I think that that spontaneity we were always talking about. I mean,
but when we're also talking about like going back to the kids lying and then some of the little fibs we tell them, there's more than just the Santa and the Tooth Fairy and all that kind of stuff. You're going to get into these discussions like I am now. So, Mom, I know it's legal now in California, but have you ever smoked pot? I'm like, no. As you're like in your back of your mind going,
every time.
Really. And I have a really big issue with that. So, I mean, medicinal, maybe medical, okay, but I feel it's still drugs. I did not vote for it to be a pass. So that's my thing there for that, but that's just me. But it just depends on who you are as far as that. But that's a hard one because there's certain things you don't want your kids to do.
That you might have done it and that it's common, but you don't want them to.
Right.
Yeah.
When was the first time you had sex? When was the first time you did this? Because it's almost like they want to know to get a pass or to see if they are like you, are they doing what you did? And you take a minute before you answer, and your answer isn't always 100% the truth. So, because you want it to, first of all, if you've done something that you feel they may look at you differently, that's hard, or even if they wouldn't, you still want to be that, magic mom, and,
they start to look at you as your relationship starts to change.
Start to change a little bit, right? And so what is really supposed to, and again, I'm putting it out to the audience, what are your feelings on this? When do you just give them the brutal, honest truth, and when do you protect your relationship or protect them from the realities of life?
You know what I want to know? I want to know the craziest lie our listeners, or some of our listeners, have told their children to get away with something. I know that I have definitely told my share of lies. That's such a hard word. I don't like
half truths. I try not to have truths. Yeah,
lies. I don't know.
There's always an element of truth in it.
Well, yeah.
But you twist it enough, you can make it like it actually.
Well, and like, so there's things that they're just very observant too. So, for example, with Carson, she starts to notice things that are like, she'll be like, "Can I kiss people?"
Oh, right.
And so there's that question. I'm like, "Oh yeah. Well, no, wait, no." Wait, yes, no. And then there's this like, well, yes, but no, but yet. So we have had to narrow it down and then also explain to her, but you should never feel forced or pressured into showing affection or anything like that. But, and then of course we tell our kids, oh no, we, mommy and daddy, we met and then we didn't, like, she thinks we kissed on our wedding day, so there's right. And then we tell her like, oh, you don't date until you're 30.
Right. Exactly. I know. Yeah.
Even though that doesn't make any sense.
Having a girl is definitely interesting, because you just have to balance it with reality, with not wanting to lie to your kids, because we keep saying you don't want them to lie to you.
Right. Okay.
And trust.
So here's a stupid lie. Well, it's not really a lie, but I'm just curious your take on this. And I only know one person that their daughter does the same thing. So it's not really a lie, but okay. So Carson calls her butt, but she calls her lady parts. She calls it also her butt. It's her front butt and her back butt. But we're too far into this that we have never corrected her. So it's front butt, back butt. So anytime she's like, my butt hurts. Which one? Front butt, back butt. And it's always that conversation. And I have a funny story. Okay. So Daryl can no longer walk around in his briefs, his boxer briefs anymore, because so Carson again is very observant. So I remember he came downstairs.
I know where this is going.
He came downstairs.
And a stiff wind was blowing. Let's just put it that way.
No, it wasn't even like it wasn't even that. Okay, so she's just like, Daddy, what's that? And she pokes him in the front, right? And he's like, Carson, don't touch me. That's Daddy's, private area. And she's like, did you poop in your underwear?
Oh no.
Did you poop in your front butt? And he's like, no. And she's like, what, Daddy? And then he went upstairs, went to the bathroom. She followed him. The door was still open. She's like, do you always stand to pee out of that long thing? And he's like, get out of the bathroom. And she's like, what is that? And he's like, it's my butt. And he just totally had a perfect opportunity to give proper anatomy and didn't do it.
Oh no.
So I blame him. So it's still front butt, back butt.
That's really funny though.
But yeah, so she noticed that things are different, and then she like messes with Dylan sometimes when they're like changing, and I'm like, leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Oh,
she's like, look at it, and she's like, look at his butt, and it just became this whole thing. So now there's no such thing as penis or vagina. It is front butt, back butt.
That's so funny. Well, we basically use the correct terms.
I tried to use
we
it.
We use the correct terms. The only thing now is like if someone wears something that's inappropriate, I'm like, I can see your hooch. No.
Your hooch?
She's like...
Your hooch.
She's like, mama. And I'm like, change. I don't want to see that. And so, or I'm like, that's a booby shirt. Yeah, you need to like cover that up. That's a little too much.
I do call... I'll say, Carson, your chichis are out.
Okay, so see,
I don't know why. Your chichis, or like your chonies are. I don't even speak Spanish or anything, but I'm like, funny. Your chonies are showing.
One of my friends, I'm gonna get a little bit of hate mail on this one, but one of my friends,
mail. Wait, like hate mail, like
hate email,
like postage.
Yeah, like hate email. But because I know a lot of moms out there nurse their kids, which is great. I did too for 6 weeks, and you did longer, I think, right? I
did.
Yeah. So, well, one of my friends, she did for 3 years. I'm like, ow.
Power to her.
But I just remember her son calling his night nights.
That's how he went to bed. Do you want to go night night?
And he would just come over, lift up her shirt, and that's what he did. And then he went to bed at 3 years old, walked into bed. I was like, there's got to be a time when you're just the night nights are night night.
That gives night night a whole new meaning.
It does. I know the La Leche Club is going to kill me, but it's just funny because I sit there and I think of the different things we call things and things we tell our kids and just the little fibs, the little white lies, the little I don't know. It's just kind of funny to me.
Sometimes it's like that innocence. You just want to keep it and and kind of let them be so pure and innocent. You do. But as we're winding down today, I have an awesome announcement as far as a victory. Oh, I love a good announcement. I love this. So I mentioned on a couple of episodes before that my daughter is going through her credentialing program. She passed her last test. I'm so happy. Go Summer. Yeah, her 4 English tests are all passed now. All she has left is her student teaching. And what was really an awesome moment for me, this is my big victory, it's not a small victory, is not only did she pass, I was the first person she called, which just tells you our relationship. Yes. Your husband was sitting in my office, and I saw her number come up on my phone. Daryl and I were working on a project, and I'm like, excuse me, I just got to take this quick. 9 o'clock at night, and I put her on speaker, and she's like, Mom, I'm a teacher. Mom, I'm a teacher. Oh my God, I passed. And so I was like, it was a very proud mama moment. So she's going to be a high school teacher by this time next year. She's subbing already, but she passed everything she has to pass. State of California. All she has to do is finish her student teaching. That is freaking incredible. That is happy. So awesome. Career, not a job, a career. Heck yeah. And she's so smart. That's going to be 23. I'm so happy. Seriously, amazing. That's so amazing. My life is nowhere on that level right now. Oh. But I mean, right now, I think my small victory is something with my marriage because with the kids and with crazy work, it's been hard to set that time aside. And I know we've talked in previous episodes about making time. It's a lot easier said than done, even when we talk about it. It sounds like we know how to make it happen, but it can be hard. It can be really hard. My husband works the other night he got home at 10 o'clock. He left at 7. So it's really long, hard days. But I am really excited to have this weekend our daycare lady. She's amazing. Mariana, she's awesome. She's just amazing. She sends me pictures all the time and I just goo goo gaga over them. But she is watching both the kids on Saturday night into Sunday. Oh, nice. And with no curfew for me to come pick them up.
Nice.
So, and then on top of that, she's going to watch them the next weekend while we go to our football game. So I'm super excited because not only am I going to get some really good quality time with my husband, which is so necessary right now, I'm also going to get some relaxation because I know we were talking in a previous episode about being so exhausted and sleep deprived, where I'm, putting items of my purse in the fridge instead of where they need to be and things like that. This is going to be really good, and I don't even care if I'm in my jammies the whole time. I've already committed to just really being in the moment, and so that's my small victory, is being able to have some adult time, which I haven't had hardly any recently. And we have very, to put it in context, we have very limited babysitting resources. Yeah. So so this is a huge one for us.
That is a great one. And congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
You get some time. I'm actually headed to Hawaii. So
okay,
I have a speaking engagement. So yeah, Corinne just flipped me off. Get out there. But it's for a speaking engagement. But yes, actually 8 days of it, but 7 of it is for relaxation, and it is again to reconnect with my husband as well. And actually, my daughter gets to come. Some of my extended family is coming as well, but we all have our own room, so that's a plus.
No, that's
not on the same floor.
That is so huge, and Hawaii is so amazing,
and it's a good time for me just to decompress and unplug.
Just put your feet in the sand.
Yes, I'm excited.
Wait, does that mean I don't get to talk to you if you're unplugging?
Maybe
it does.
Once or twice that week. I'll tell you what, I won't talk to you on Saturday night.
Okay,
we'll both unplug.
Fair.
I leave Sunday morning, so we'll both be gone
Saturday
for the weekend.
Night.
Yeah,
all
so
right,
the weekend is off limits. You and I will both have our moment where we'll catch up next week at some point.
I suppose.
Well, everybody, go out and make it just a great weekend. It is a holiday weekend coming up, and you're going to hear this actually after that happens. So we hope you did have a good holiday weekend, and make it a great day. And thanks for listening.
We love you. Thank you for listening to the BunLife Podcast. For more information on all things BunLife, go to thebunlife.com. Don't forget to subscribe, whether it be on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or your favorite podcast provider, so you don't miss an episode. Until next time.
I'm good. I'm good. Yep. Hands up. Yep. Hands up. Clap. 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 Say it with me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That's right. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Woo, woo. Curtis King on the beat.